Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Business Line Context podcast, where we bring you the stories behind the news. My name is T.R. Vivek. In the past few days, the Indian business press and indeed television has been awash with happy stories, some bordering on boosterism, to my mind, about the NASDAQ listing of Freshworks, a software as a service or SaaS company founded in Chennai. The company raised more than $1 billion through the listing or the public sale of its shares in New York. In the process, Freshworks' market value zoomed to $10 billion. Its 46-year-old CEO, Girish Mathrubootham, is the newest poster boy for Indian techies. What makes Freshworks and Girish tick? To talk about that, we are today joined by Sairam Krishnan. Sairam is a marketer in residence at the venture capital firm Accel. He can give us a somewhat unique outside-in, inside-out perspective on Freshworks. Accel, of course, was one of the first investors in Freshworks, and Sairam himself was employee number 8 at Freshworks in 2011. Sairam runs a fantastic Substack newsletter called the CMO Journal on matters at the intersection of marketing and technology. Do check it out. Welcome to the Context podcast, Sairam. How have you been?
Thank you so much for having me, Vivek. It's been like a busy week, but I've been well, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, Sairam, for the benefit of listeners not very well acquainted with the world of IT, what indeed is SaaS, and how is Freshworks different in what it does from, say, the storied Indian IT companies like Infosys or TCS?
Right. Okay. So SaaS, Vivek, stands for software as a service, right? So it's a method of software delivery and licensing in which software is accessed online. Mm-hmm. Other than bought and installed on individual computers, right? So how can I explain this better? Like, here's an analogy, right? A service-based company is like a restaurant, right? A product-based company is an ice cream parlor, right? Mm-hmm. If you want food, right, you usually go to a restaurant, order something, and the food is prepared to suit our tastes, right? In an ice cream shop, we pick the favorite flavor from the flavors that already exist, the flavors that they've made and kept, right? Mm-hmm. So in other words, service-based companies build software only when a customer approaches them and asks for something to be authored according to their needs, right? Mm-hmm. But a product company, on the other hand, already has a product, right, which is customized to a wide range of customers or clients, and you can pick and choose, which ones you want and what is perfect for you. Mm-hmm. And so one way to also think about this is Infosys is a restaurant. You can go and tell Infosys, hey, this is what we want. This is for this kind of company, and Infosys will build it for you. They'll have a project and they'll build it for you. On the other hand, Freshworks is a lot like Facebook. It already exists, right? Freshdesk as a product will exist, and you go and say, hey, this is a customer support tool that's good for my needs. I'm going to start using it. I'm going to pay a subscription to the company for it. Yeah, so that's the difference.
Okay. Sairam, why is Freshworks NASDAQ listing such a big deal for Indian business?
I think it's a theme that's been recurring, and something that we've been talking about in the SaaS industry for a while now. In that the service industry sort of big movement was Infosys listing, right? Mm-hmm. It was 93, if I'm not wrong, right? And this is sort of the movement, the same movement for Indian product industry, and Freshworks is sort of the harbinger of a wide range of technology companies out of India, mm-hmm. which are now right on, and some are almost on the heels of Freshworks. Right? They will grow as fast and come up as quickly. Mm-hmm. So this is why this movement is important. Infosys's listing launched almost a 15-year run of great employment, great jobs, great wealth creation for the Indian IT industry and everything associated with it. This will hopefully, and something we're very confident about, start off this great run of Indian product companies which are now selling across to the world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sairam, you were employee number 8 at Freshworks. Tell us about the early days. We've read that it was founded, typically as it goes with all startups, founded in a garage, perhaps. And what were your impressions of Girish Mathrubootham?
Right. So the early days, Freshworks was, in the beginning, it was actually run out of Girish's house, right? So I wasn't there during that time. So this is the stories that are told to me, right? And then the company moved to a 2-room office in Kirkattalai, right, which is like one of the far away sort of suburban areas, right? And that was the office that I joined, and I was just a fresh grad out of business school, and I was just like applying to places, right? And then I had applied to this place as well. And this is something that Girish told me later. In a pool of about 80 people who had applied for like content marketing roles, like he only talked to me because he saw my blog and said that this is the person I want, right? So when I went into that, the first interview that I really had, I was stunned. It's a 2-room office. And Girish was very clear, like, this is a startup. This is not like a swanky, place yet. And the first round of funding, though it was, I think the talks were on, I don't think it was closed yet, right? So here was this tall man, Girish is an imposing figure, right? So he comes across and, welcomes me, and then he introduces me to the rest of them. And the rest of the team is almost all techies, right? There was just one other marketer who was also, from Zoho Stock. So it was all techies. And so, I was like quite a fish out of water. I didn't know. But then that's the thing, right? Like, there are certain things that just click. Girish is an excellent manager and excellent leader. And I think but even before 5 minutes had elapsed, I knew that I was going to join. I knew that he was going to have me. And it wasn't so much of an interview. I think he had realized that this is the person I want also. So it was just surreal. Yeah.
What makes Girish tick as an entrepreneur and institution builder in your view? Having worked with him closely, and also now being in a venture capital firm that was one of the earliest backers of Freshworks.
Right. This is a very good question, Vivek. So one is like, this is something that I've I've repeated, at least like in personal circles, is that Girish and team had come out of Zoho, right? And they already knew what a great company looked like, right? And so what they were built, they already knew what, a great company was and what they had to build to get there, right? So that's one part of it. The other is growing along with the company, right? Girish's sort of advantage as a leader is that it's been 10, 11 years, once 2010 it was started, it's 2021 now, right? So it's the adapting, the sort of, adaptation that a leader needs, right? When you are a 2-room company, there's a different kind of leadership necessary. When you are a 1-product company, there's a different kind of leadership necessary. When you are a hyper growth startup with funding from, some of the biggest investors in the world, including Google, you have to be a different kind of leader, right? People don't talk about this enough, but what this requires is an extreme amount of clarity, as well as the ability to adapt to these situations very, very quickly. Because this is, as I said, hyper growth, right? You don't the problem that you're facing one day is extremely different from a problem that you're facing just a month later, right? This ability to adapt and sort of lead in these situations, right, is, I think, what made Girish unique, and what got Freshworks to where it is today.
Is there a common theme that you can see, having been around during the heady days of say an Infosys? I would always talk about the humility of the founders and the ability to be very accessible to both employees and customers. Is that a common thread that you see as well?
Yes, perfectly. I think Girish's leading sort of emotion is empathy, right? And this is a person who is not building a company just for the customer. This is something that even the company collateral and everything, the marketing they put out talks about. It's also very employee focused, and Girish's thinking from the beginning was that way, right? When we were just like 10 or 15 people and I had an off day, I could expect to be talked to by Girish. If I had 2 or 3 off days, he would notice, right? 2 or 3 off days in in like a month is like nothing when you're working, in a startup, right? But he would notice even those things and ask me about it. I was young then, like if I was having girlfriend problems and all of that. So this is the stuff that makes him, a really, really sort of empathetic leader. And that sort of extended even, even when the company was like 4,000 people, large. And I think it extends until now as well. And definitely a trait that's common. Yeah.
Mhm. Much has been made about this, unique culture at Freshworks. What is that culture? Call me a crusty skeptic hack, but the story is about Girish's Rajnikant fandom, the special first day first show screenings of Talaivar films for employees, and even this code name or for the Nasdaq listing, Project Superstars. All this appears a bit gimmicky to me.
Mm-hmm. I'll grant you that I'll grant you the sort of skepticism, but this is something that Vivek, you have to understand. To bring together 4,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
To bring together 4,000, 5,000 people across geographies, a team, you have to coalesce around an idea when you're building something this big. It's the scale of what has been achieved, is something that has to be marveled at. And for that, you need themes, you need ideas to pull people together, right? And Girish from the beginning has had the ability to sort of have us all come together around certain ideas. Now, the ideas themselves, you may find them, however, but as a company, as people who were there, these were the things that sort of brought us together, and we made sure that there was fellow feeling in this team, that all of this was in service of one common goal. And I definitely think all of these things really mattered in the way that we built the company. And going back to the first part of the question, right, culture, and this sort of connects to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an incident in the first few months when I was there, right? This is 2011, we didn't even have a paying customer yet, right? But somebody had called up, I don't remember which region, like people might remember, or the early team might remember, and they looked at the product, they loved it, but they were also a startup, right? They did not have the ability to pay us even the very, nominal amount we had at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and they talked to us and so on. And after, like, we spoke to them, and then we weren't really keen. Like, some of us weren't really keen. It was like, we need that first customer now and all of that. Like, after a minute of thinking, Giri said, please give it to them, right? They are a startup like us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're also like looking at something that will solve their problems. We can use them for a case study of a feedback, right?
Mm-hmm.
This sort of culture came through, like, even when we were like a larger company, right? This is what I mean by empathy, both for the customer, right? There is a genuine, how do I put it? There's a genuine need and a want in a Freshworks employee to solve a customer problem. This is something that has been drilled into us from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
That a customer has a problem. It may or may not pertain to what we are doing, or it may take some time, but it's our job to sort of solve it. So that's the customer issue. Then the other is the employee stuff. Like, Freshworks is an incredibly generous employer, right? And also, it's not a finicky, I'm going to hire only from IITs and IIMs employer. Freshworks, I was not an IIT IIM grad, right? I'm one of the earliest employees. And, I came out with a particular skill. Freshworks wanted that skill, and they'll take that skill, right? And if sometimes you have only the makings of that skill, they are fine with that as well. They'll train you, right? So you have a certain amount of, like, loyalty to the organization because it has given you so much. All of that combines brings to a culture that, as I said, coalesces around certain feelings, certain emotions, and that is what makes Freshworks so special as a company.
When you say generous, the story is about 700, 800 rupee crorepati's created by this IPO. Would that be a manifestation of that generosity? I ask this because we often mistake the outward shindings, like lava lamps in the office, or cushy chairs, or a food court, as great culture in an organization. What was it like? Is it beyond these superficialities?
Very, very beyond these superficialities. The Freshworks office in Perungudi in Chennai is one of the swankiest offices you can go to, but that's not the point, right? I can confirm that the numbers that are being stated in the papers and all are absolutely true. I think if something, they're on the lower side. There is tremendous amount of wealth being created for employees, and this is something that Girish was keen on, not just now, like even 2 years, 3 years into our journey, when we were in a place where we realized, okay, we are going somewhere, right? Girish was very clear. I want all my employees to have BMWs, like if they want, right? They should be able to buy houses if they want. This was something that was very clear. And this generosity is not just like in terms of stocks, right? If, for example, you are a later employee, a junior employee who probably doesn't have the amount of like stock options that the seniors or early employees have, there is a tremendous amount of generosity in terms of our health cover, right? Like very simple things that people might take for granted. Freshworks Health Card is one of the best in the industry. Like they make sure that you don't have to worry about anything apart from the work that you have at hand. For example, if early employees did not know how to invest, right, we would make sure that the bank representatives who came in. I remember Girish personally getting involved to a bank rep who was like trying to sell loans to one of our people that, hey, if you're going to sell something, make sure that it's of value. Otherwise, we're going to cancel that, that deal that we have with you guys. It was that amount of, it is that amount of empathy that we have for the employees as well. And as I said, this was by no means superficial, and it went as deep as Girish getting involved in our partner bank selling us loans. Yeah.
Are you also by any chance a crorepati now?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay. But I hope the company has been generous to you as an ex-employee.
I can absolutely confirm. It has been very generous to me.
Okay. Sairam, we now have a lot of big name SaaS companies with roots in Chennai or in Tamil Nadu per se. Girish himself worked at Zoho before starting Freshworks. To invoke a Vadivelu comedy line, like Ratta Bhumi, why has this city or state become SaaS Bhumi?
Right. The answer actually, and something that anybody in Chennai will answer that question, is of the immense amount of talent and vision that Zoho gave to the ecosystem in Chennai, right? I'll also like state example, like it's a good story. I remember that when I was like a young, really hotshot marketer, like we had a product that was competing with a certain Zoho product, right? And I was very gung-ho about it. We're gonna and I was talking in Tamil, right? But it's like we are gonna like finish this product of Zoho's. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and all of that. And it was met by stunned silence in that in the meeting room, because, and this is very important to understand, Girish and the rest of the founding team are very respectful, of Zoho and what it gave to them. And I remember Girish telling me, "Sai, don't talk like that. Yeah, it doesn't feel right to me." Right. And he told me this personally, it doesn't feel right to me. Right. And this is precisely because that I don't know, like, because of, I don't know how they will like talk about it now, in terms of like, I don't know how public they will be about it, but I can certainly confirm that they know and they have spoken about, the debt that they owe, to the company that they all came from, and they have immense amount of respect for it. And I think the idea of SaaS being, coming from that place is definitely a function of Zoho being there for so many years, right? The other companies that we know that are there, like the ChargeBees of the world, right? We had Zarget, which was acquired by Freshworks. There are a bunch of other companies. There's Rocket Lane now, right? If you look at them, either the founders have come from Zoho, right? Or a huge chunk of the talent comes from Zoho, right? And when you have Silicon Valley works like that, right? The reason that the valley is because the talent is there, right? SaaS talent in India is right now in Chennai, right? And that's why you get all these companies being built over there. It's quite simple.
So I remember people talking about, in the early 2000s or late 90s, people talking about Unilever as the, leadership talent factory for India Inc. in general. So this seems to be a sort of a Unilever redux in the case of Zoho as far as SaaS talent is concerned.
I definitely think, even if everybody doesn't like say that, I definitely think that to be true.
And long may it continue. Thank you, Sairam, for joining us on the Context podcast. Hope to see you again soon.